All right, what do we got here? South Africa's president, Cyril Ramaphosa, versus visiting Trump. Oh boy, we got another world leader presser with El Presidente. What do we got here? Probably just going to try to go through this as fast as possible, because he's probably going to repeat a lot of the same bullshit. I don't want to fucking debunking that constantly, dude.
You've got about 22 companies from South Africa that have invested in the US, thus creating a number of jobs. And similarly, you've got almost 600 companies that have invested in South Africa, and some of them have been in South Africa for more than 100 years. That's true.
Are we I guess from the starting point, they already kind of started with it. Whatever. I guess, like, yeah, Trump is transactional. Yeah, very transactional.
So
very true.
Our links are really long-lasting, and would like to recalibrate those relations between our two countries and discuss a whole range of issues, geopolitical, the work that you're doing to bring peace around the world.
Yeah, because again, like, Trump basically decided to be like, yeah, we're gonna like give everyone tariffs because they've all wronged us, even though, like, what did they do? Probably nothing.
Ukraine and in the Middle East. So we value that, and we are also a great contributor to peace processes that are going on around the world. And of course, we want to discuss how we can support each other. You are a much bigger economy than we are. We're just a tiny economy, but we rely on each other on a number of issues. We've got critical minerals that you want to fuel the growth of your own economy and reindustrialize. So we have that on offer, including rare earth minerals. So all that combination of opportunity and the products that we buy from you, as well as what we sell to you, I believe makes up a really good and powerful relationship, which we need to strengthen, which we need to engender. And that is really what has brought us here. And we are really privileged to have great South Africans in the mix. As you said, you'd like to see them as well. And I brought you a really fantastic golf book. It weighs 14 kilograms. Oh, and it showcases the golf courses in our country.
He knows how to get to his heart. It's like, we're gonna, oh, golf? Oh, whoa, I love golf. Maybe you could, listen, Cyril, maybe you could let me play at some of your courses sometimes. That's funny, dude.
Preface, sorted pennies, and I want to showcase our golf courses. You might remember when I spoke to you, when we spoke about golf, you said start practicing. And I started practicing, President, so I'm ready. But let me end just the introductory remarks by thanking you. You may not recall that 5 years ago I spoke to you during the COVID period, right? And it was at a time when the whole world was going through a really cathartic moment. And we asked for assistance, and you were able to assist us with respirators, and you kept your word, and you delivered respirators to us. We didn't have as many in our country, and it really helped to help us deal with COVID. So I'm here also to say thank you.
Yeah, like, Cyril, bro more or less knows more or less how he's gonna, like, get to Trump. Flattery. That's, like, the only way you can, like, get through to this, well, absolute buffoon.
To thank the people of America for having helped us during a really difficult time. Being the small economy that we are, we needed help from around the world, and you were there to provide that. So thank you very much.
I remember the call. Yeah. We said 150 respirators. We became the respirator king. We started making them. Nobody had them. We had very few of them,
that's right.
But they were very helpful. But we said 150, and I appreciated the letter you wrote me. That's right.
Thank you. We love helping out South Africa, folks.
Spoke to you, and you delivered. So, thank you very much.
Any questions,
Mr. President, we welcome white Afrikaner refugees here. Can you explain to Americans why it's appropriate to welcome white Afrikaners here when other refugees like Afghans, Venezuelans, Haitians have all had their protected status revoked?
All right, well, yeah, here comes the main fucking topic du jour. Because not that long ago, probably because of Elon Musk and I don't know, some other, like, schizo conspiracy theories, I have no doubt that these motherfuckers are also going to be brought up, and that's the EFF. We all know the fucking video. Like, I need to show you this video, Cyril. You need to do something about white genocide. Yeah, the idea that there's, like, a white genocide of, like, what, fucking Afrikaners going on in fucking South Africa is a conspiracy theory that has been consistently debunked. It's simply put, it's not happening. It's not happening. There is no white genocide. The fact that Trump is complaining about this is really stupid and silly, and has probably been brought on by fucking Elon Musk. Because we all know about his, like, stupid-ass AI chatbot saying, like, so, you know, that all that stuff that you're asking about, it's, like, cool and all. But the white genocide in South Africa, and everyone's just like, why the fuck are you bringing this up, Grok? What's going on, bro? What's up? What's happening? Why are you telling me about this?
This is a group, NBC, that is truly fake news. They ask a lot of questions in a very pointed way. They're not questions, they're statements. We've had tremendous complaints about Africa, about other countries too, from people. They say there's a lot of bad things going on in Africa, and that's what we're going to be discussing today. When you say we don't take others, all you have to do is take a look at the southern border. We let 21 million people come through our border, totally unchecked, totally unvetted. They came from all over the world.
Yeah, he's lying again. He's talking about temporary protected status, which which basically says, like, that there are 21.6 million undocumented people that are eligible for the... I've debunked this for the umpteenth fucking time at this point. But sure, we'll do it again. I love this article. Nearly 1.2 million of the roughly 21.6 million non-citizen immigrants living in the U.S. are either receiving or eligible for TPS. That's not 21.6 million people have been let into the U.S. He's just it's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie.
World. In many cases, they're criminals. They come from prisons. They come from mental institutions. They come from street gangs. They're drug dealers. So don't say that we didn't take them. We take them. We're trying to get them out as fast as we can. And we're doing record business on that. And we just won a big case. We're allowed to send back hundreds of criminals to Venezuela. Just won that today in the Supreme Court. I'm happy to hear.
Is that even true? I'm aware of what case he's talking about. What? Supreme Court case. Venezuelan immigrants. Right? I think I've heard of this case before. Clears way to end TPS for Venezuelans, right? Supreme Court lets Trump end deportation claims for 350,000 Venezuelans. Right? This is what he's talking about, I assume, right? Under the Alien Enemies Act, I believe. I think this is what he's talking about. Supreme Court has said it will allow Trump administration to terminate deportation protections for some 350,000 Venezuelans in the U.S. Ruling lifts a hold was placed by a California judge that TPS in place for Venezuelans whose status would have expired last month. Oh, well, it's because the status would have fucking expired last month anyway, so they're just lifting it early. That's why. Okay. Ruling marks a win, who's repeatedly said Venezuelans were first granted TPS in 2021. Again, you want to know why a bunch of Venezuelans were even brought in to begin with, why a bunch of them got fucking TPS. His failed fucking coup attempt during his first term on Venezuela, which caused hyperinflation in the country after he decided to sanction the country because he was mad that his fucking coup attempt didn't fucking work out. He got salty like a little bitch. He got mad. He's like, well, I'm going to sanction the fuck out of Venezuela now because everything that they're stinky and mean and bad. So, fuck you. And it caused a big migration wave as a result. Whoa, who would have thought that such a thing could have happened? But, well, you know, callousness and the Trump administration, him not knowing the consequences of his own actions, well, crazy. Who would have thought?
But we do have a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, continuing to debunk Biden gave about 1.2 million people the status for TPS. Not 21.6 million. This program has been in since the fucking 90s. It is essentially saying that roughly out of the 21.6 million non-citizen immigrants that are currently in the U.S., they are eligible or can receive TPS. That doesn't mean that Biden let in 21.6 million immigrants to the U.S. It's just wrong.
People are very concerned with regard to South Africa, and that's really the purpose of the meeting, and we'll see how that turns out. But we have many people that feel they're being persecuted, and they're coming to the United States. So we take from many locations if we feel there's persecution or genocide going on. And we had a lot of people. I must tell you, Mr. President, we have had a tremendous...
Damn, I wonder why you're not taking in a bunch more Palestinians, then. Those guys are kind of going through genocide right now. It's some food for thought.
This number of people, especially since they've seen this, generally they're white farmers, and they're fleeing South Africa, and it's a very sad thing to see. But I hope we can have an explanation of that, because I know you don't want that. It's a kind of a different meeting. Normally we have meetings, we talk about trade, and we'll be talking about trade and other things. But that certainly will be a subject that comes up. Yeah. Yes, please. Brian?
Thank you very much. Let me get your thoughts on Letitia James. Director Polte, according to him, Letitia James says that the alleged mortgage fraud was simply a mistake. Want to get your thoughts on that? She put down that her father was her husband, and this is very similar to, I guess, the false account.
Well, I don't know what it is currently, but Letitia James, who's the Attorney General of New York State, it seemed, I'm not involved in that at all. I know that it's being handled by various groups, I guess, but it's major fraud, mortgage documents, and fraudulent everything. I think she said the father was her husband, which she had to have a husband, so she shows her father, and she put it down, and she said, didn't she sign in Virginia, yet she said she lived in Virginia, yet she's the New York State Attorney General. She did that for tax reasons, so she could take advantage of taxes. And she had the wrong number of units. She had a much different number, which wouldn't have allowed her to qualify and scam the government. So, I don't know. I think she's very bad for New York, but I really don't know too much about it, but I appreciate the question. Thank you very much. Yes.
No, I don't know what's being asked here. Letitia James. Well, all I know is that she got is it persecuted? I'm trying to think of what exactly happened to Letitia James. She got attacked by a bunch of Trump goons basically, or some shit by Rudy Giuliani, I think, because of the lawsuit that he was going through and stuff. That's all I know. But stuff that she won basically because of a lot of defamation that Rudy Giuliani did. I don't know as much about this, to be honest.
Genocide. Thank you, Mr. President. So May 25th will be the celebration of Africa Day, which pretty much a lot of celebration will be taking place around the world, including here in the United States. What is your message to the entire African continent, African people, in this important occasion?
Well, I want to see peace, and I want to see happiness. I want to see health, and you have incredible land. There's tremendous value. A lot of countries don't have that value in the land. The value you have. We have a situation. I think
we love all about the value of African land, folks. Let me tell you.
A war that's been raging for years, Rwanda and the Congo, and I think we've done it. Believe it or not, I think we've done it. And could you just say a few words about that, my friend?
Yes. A couple of weeks ago, they signed the two-party signed a declaration of principle in which they agreed on the way forward, and they have both submitted draft peace agreements, and we have put together one that incorporates.
Yeah, so this is something that you don't see as often talked about within the news, is there is currently a war going on between MS-23 rebels that are being supported by the Rwandans, and also the between them and the Congolese at the moment. There's a war going on there. It's you want to talk about a lot of wretched fucking horde things going on there. Take a look into that conflict. Lots of death and destruction, children getting killed and shit like that. You know, it's pretty fucking bad. So, you know, if there is a ceasefire to that conflict, then okay, cool, good job, Trump. But as far as I know, not really much has happened quite yet. Just wait and see, I guess. We'll see.
Both of their suggestions, and we've given it to them. So we're in the process of finalizing.
Looking good, right?
Looking very good.
So we have to thank you for even those efforts, because the African continent, particularly our Southern African Development Community, has for years been seeking to foster peace in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So all efforts, including those from outside the continent and inside the continent, are really worthwhile. We are removing our troops from there so that peace can then prevail in that whole area, and we hope that with the support of the international community, we will really have peace in that area. It's so vital and so important for the whole region.
Well, we sent our people there, and I think we did a very good job. I said it by my friend, and that was great. That was great. I mean, I'm just hearing.
Sent our people there. They did great, folks. What can I say?
It's horrible over there, and it was really brave of you to go there, and I really appreciate it. And it looks like we have something very, very substantial. We also talked about trade with them in terms of rare earth and all, really more for the. It's like if you take a look at what we just did with Pakistan.
My obsession with rare earth minerals.
And I think I said it was trade. We're doing a big deal with India. We're doing a big deal with Pakistan. And they said, "What are you guys doing?" You know, somebody had to be the last one to shoot, but the shooting was getting worse and worse, bigger and bigger, deeper and deeper into the countries. And we spoke to them.
Again, Trump had nothing to do with the peace between India and Pakistan. That's just false. He's just full of himself. Basically, it's just like, yeah, you know, listen, I'm going to take credit for everything that I have not done and done, but also have not done, but will think about doing, but not actually do. But I'm just going to take credit but not take credit for the bad things that I do when I obviously do something bad because it was bad or something. But yeah, we've already talked about India and Pakistan. Trump basically had nothing to do with any of that shit.
I think I hate to say we got it settled, and then 2 days later something happens and they say it's Trump's fault. But Pakistan has got some excellent people and some really great leader. And India is my friend Modi, and he's a
friend?
Yeah, he's a great guy. And I told them both. We just
great guy. I love Narendra Modi.
We spoke with President Putin for 2.5 hours the day before yesterday. I think we made a lot of progress, but that's a bloodbath. 5,000 people are being killed a week. 5,000 soldiers a week, not including people in cities and towns that are also being killed. So we're trying to help. And it doesn't affect us. It's not our people.
Yeah, I mean, so far, like, even with, like, Russia or Ukraine, it's just been a complete fucking, like, shit show in that fucking respect as well. Where basically there's, like, nothing happening because of the fact that he's just getting strung along by Putin, but yeah, that's cool. Yeah, in terms of, like, okay, I don't know as much, I have not been really looking into, like, because I know who the belligerents are. It's the Congolese and the, it's a Rwandan-backed rebel group called MS-23, I believe. I think that's who are the two sides that are being backed. And from what I recall, for the most part, there wasn't really, like, any movement going on at all in terms of, like, peace for the time being. Because I don't believe Trump for even, like, 3 seconds when he says, like, oh, I was the one who fucking did everything. I got the peace. I negotiated everything. Blah, blah, blah. Look at me. How good of a peace dealer I am. Because, like, he lied about that shit when it came to India and Pakistan. Like, he's saying, like, I was the one who did everything about India and Pakistan. He didn't really have anything to do with that at all. That was between the Indians and the Pakistanis. So he's lying when he says that. So, did he do everything? Did he do nothing? I don't know. Like, the more than likely, the main people who brokered peace between India and Pakistan is, if I were to take a guess, probably the Chinese. and probably between the Indians themselves, Indians and the Pakistanis themselves. I highly doubt that Trump really had much of anything to do with that one.
It's not our soldiers, it's Ukraine and it's Russia, but if we can save 5,000 souls, we'll do it. We're pretty good at it. But that's a bad situation. That is a really bad situation.
You recall when President Zelensky was coming to South Africa, that's when I spoke to you.
That's right.
We both agreed that we need to push the peace message so that there can really be peace. And we've been involved in the Ukraine-Russia conflict for quite a while. So my Minister of State Security here, we've been dealing with them, the exchange of children who were taken away, going through names and addresses and all that. So we've been invested in that whole process as well. And the moves that you're making are fully supported by us because we would like to see the end of that war.
Sure. I called Zelensky and they said, he's in South Africa. I said, what the hell is he doing in South Africa?
He was talking to
We
us.
got this right.
What's he doing there, folks? I don't know. I don't understand.
What
the hell is he doing there, folks?
Great Nelson Mandela, who taught us how to create peace, to make peace. So we were imparting some of those lessons to him, some of those learnings, and I specifically mentioned to him that this is how Nelson Mandela taught us that when you want to have a peace.
You're pretty much on the money there, sacrificial MILF. Yeah, like where the U.S. is beginning to retreat overall in the global world. The Chinese are now stepping in to fill that void, right? Like, that's 100% what's going on here. And like, with like all the stupid, idiotic belligerence that Trump has been constantly engaging in, like recently, that has been playing out and been fairly fucking forefront from like, basically I would say from the beginning, right?
In the country, do it on an unconditional basis and sit down to talk, and that's precisely what I'm sure he's going to heed.
Well, we'll see what happens with that one. There's a lot of hatred.
Yeah.
There's a lot of death. It's a bloodbath.
It is, unfortunately.
I get the satellite pictures of that field, of that killing field. You never saw anything like it. It was horrible. It's a horrible thing that goes on, but I think we made big progress. Yeah, please go ahead. No, not you. Right here. He's from South Africa. Go ahead, please.
What are you expecting on the ICJ case? Are you expecting South Africa to drop that? Is that what you're trying to
On which case?
The International Criminal Justice.
Oh, he doesn't know about, yeah, South Africa was the one who filed the first ICJ case against Benjamin Netanyahu, right? They were the ones who filed the first one, the ICJ case against Benjamin Netanyahu and Yoav Gallant. They were the ones who filed the first one. Again, with stuff like that, I don't even know what the fuck's going on with that, but it's been mostly, like, stalling, considering the fact that the war is still going... War in Israel and in Gaza is still going on at this point, so it's going to be hard for the ICJ to do any investigations at all, especially with the fact that Israel more than likely is going to interfere as much as possible in that process, like they did with when the UN tried to go in to investigate the claims of rape being done by Hamas in October 7th. Israel did everything in their power in order to get in the way of those investigations as much as possible. So, who knows how long that's going to take and like what exactly is going on there.
I don't expect anything, to be honest. I really don't. I don't know. They've got occasions a lot of anger there, tremendous anger. I don't expect anything. We'll see what happens. We'll have a ruling, and
Yeah,
what the ruling's gonna
Trump
be.
doesn't
Yeah.
know. He doesn't know.
Are you going to be speaking to Prime Minister Netanyahu about Israel's renewed defense unit? Being a lot of concern from European countries, the Pope has expressed concern. Are you going to be asking Prime Minister Netanyahu to tone down defense in Gaza to let more aid in?
Was that a question or a statement? This guy's need never changes.
President Assad, what would it take for you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?
Well, I can answer that for the President. It's, for him, no, seriously,
rather have him answer.
yeah, I'd rather answer that. It will be-
How President will respond to you?
Yeah, no,
Thank you, Mr. President.
it will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends, like those who are here. When we have talks between us around the quiet table, it will take President Trump to listen to them. I'm not going to be repeating what I've been saying. I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these three gentlemen would not be here, including my Minister of Agriculture. He would not be with me. So it will take him, President Trump, listening to their stories, to their perspective. That is the answer to your question.
But Mr. President, I must say that we have wait. We have thousands of stories talking about it. And we have documentaries, we have news stories.
Now here it comes, the fucking Afrikaner fucking stupid dumbass.
Now there's a genocide of Afrikaners, folks. Let me tell you, there's a big one. It's really bad. Let me tell you, folks.
And is Natalie here? Somebody here to turn that? I can show you a couple of things. And I have to. It has to be responded to. So let me see the articles, please, if you would. And excuse me, turn the lights down. Turn the lights down, and just put this on. It's right behind you. Elon.
With or without you, people are going to...
I've seen the video of this already, but it's just so funny seeing it actually fucking play out, dude. Oh my fucking lord, dude. Oh no, not the EFF, an incredibly fringe fucking dog shit LARPy party talking about killing the boar and shit like that. Oh my god, he actually just plays the video. He just shows it to the South African president. That's so funny, dude.
Occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We can do whatever we want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We're going to occupy land.
Oh my god!
That's who we are.
Please take a look at this video. It's very important that you look at it.
Never be scared to kill. A revolution demands that at some point there must be killing, because the killing is part of a revolution. Like, shoot, kill, come on, sir. Kill the poor, the poor, kill the poor, the poor, pa, 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 pa,
Oh my god, it's so funny. But why though? Because he has a bunch of racists in his cabinet who've probably convinced him, saying like, "Oh yeah, dude, the EFF, which is an extremely fringe party, is actually very, very popular, gaining prominence, and is talking about leading chance to kill Afrikaners, and it's like really bad and stuff." But like, there's just no evidence of it. Like literally, like, what, farm attacks. You've seen the fucking graph. Not only is it going down, there are a bunch of South African farm attacks and farm murders. The problem is like there is no evidence anywhere, even in the fucking Wikipedia article, saying that this is primarily being done by black people against Afrikaners. There's just no evidence for it whatsoever. It's so fucking goofy. But what? 13,000 farm attacks. Commercial 2,000 were killed. And Trump says there's thousands upon thousands of articles. Yeah, mostly by like a bunch of like schizo far right fucking outlets that are trying to like gin this up into a story to be like, oh, it's really bad actually. Whoa, crazy. But there's no evidence. There's no evidence. And again, who are the main people who still so far probably own most of the land? It's Afrikaners. Afrikaners are still the main people who own most of the land. And the reason why this started to become a thing in the first place is because of land reform bills. A very minor land reform bill in South Africa. I'm trying to think. I believe it was one in 2018 or 2017, I think, where there was a lot of unused land that was being repurposed, or not repurposed, that was being redistributed to black South Africans in comparison to that of Afrikaners. Whoa, crazy. So they were doing redistribution programs of unused fucking land, but all these fucking morons have to have a complete schizo fucking conspiracy theory about it. Talk about like, oh yeah, dude, it's definitely because of, all of those fucking blacks that are trying to murder people. And it's just like, what the fuck are you people talking about? There's just, it's completely psychotic, it's stupid, it's ridiculous, and there's just like zero basis for any of it. But this is what's like prompting all of this. There's been some reform bills that were passed in the South African parliament saying like, yeah, we're going to redistribute some of the land from it was unused land that is being unused into the hands of black South Africans from that used to be owned by Afrikaners. That's it. But like, let me pull up. I'm gonna pull up the video of him like showing the fucking EFF shit because it's so funny, dude. Like, my God, it's so funny. Where is it? Trump showing Trump EFF. Because that video did not do a good job showing it. It's so fucking funny, dude. It is the funniest shit, like,
Oh, well, look at this, Cyril Ramaphosa. Like, have you ever considered that, maybe, just maybe, look at this. It's the EFF. They're really scary and really bad. I don't like them. They're so scary. They're saying kill the fucking poor.
it's the stupidest fucking shit on the fucking planet. There's just like, No basis for any of this. It's so fucking dumb. It's so dumb. Let me see. There's like a 4-minute video of this. Okay, here we go. Perfect. The live video is not, it's not the best live video, unfortunately. But here.
Can do with or without you, people are going to occupy land. We require no permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to?
And again, here's the fucking thing. The reason why a party like the EFF can rise, because again, they're a relatively fringe party. Like, what is the like? What's like the seat share that the EFF has in like South African Parliament? EFF prominence. Prominence in South African Parliament. They've won 25 seats in the 2014 election. Okay. Like, how are they doing? 2019 general election, they won nearly 11% of the vote and 44 seats. And they may lose. And the ANC, which is the current governing party, currently what? That's Nelson Mandela's party. They became like more fucking liberal when they started becoming a fucking when they became a political party. They became way more fucking liberal as a result. And whoa, crazy. Because of ineffective fucking liberal policies, it's made it such that it's a lot easier for people like the EFF to be able to fucking rise out of that. So, whoa, crazy. So, ineffective neoliberal governance is the reasoning why shit like this is happening? Crazy, ridiculous. Like, there's a couple of documentaries on the white South Africans, and it cracks me up. We live in shitty places. We're treated like shit. We can't get jobs. The problem is ineffective fucking liberal governance. It's not because the EFF is saying, like, we're gonna kill white South Afrikaners. That's stupid.
Tell us whether we can occupy land or not. We are going to occupy land. South Africa occupy land. That's who we are. Must never be scared to give a revolution. Demand that at some point.
I know a lot of lefties like to soy the fuck out over, like, these fucking dumbasses all the fucking time. No. These people are not good to soy the fuck out over, okay? But that's because, like, a lot of, like, dumbass fucking Marxist-Leninists don't understand how to do, like, any form of, like, political tact. These guys are not that good. They are fucking on the right. They would not stand with a lot of, like, left-leaning fucking proposals. But, you know, whatever. If it's about just being radical for, like, radicalism's sake, well, that's the fucking left for you. Just being as stupid and ineffective as possible. But I expect no less from the fucking Western left.
Must be killing because the killing is part of a revolution. Like, shoot to kill. Namaza. Kill the poor, the farmer. Kill the poor, the farmer. Pa, 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 pa.
It's so funny that Trump is just showing this here. It's so fucking funny.
So these people really want to hit them hard. Go after a white man. They feel a terrible pain.
God, this shit, it's so fucking LARPy too, dude.
Not because Pajama and Soli will not beat us. They will beat us. Come on. But we're starting with this whiteness. We're cutting the throats of whiteness. Shoot, kill, Yamasa. Kill the brewer, the farmer. Kill the brewer, the farmer.
Yeah, I think we all get the point here. It's so fucking goofy.
The manner of DA in PE is a white man. So these people, when you want to hit them hard, go after a white man. They feel a terrible pain.
It turns out I came in perfectly at cut the video off at the perfect time. Look at that.
But we're starting with this whiteness. We're cutting the throat of whiteness.
Cyril, please take a look at this video. It really concerns me. I'm so scared.
I'll send you for for the killing of white people, and he's black.
And you understand something watching that, especially that gets straight on the face. We know it sounds like a decided.
Oh yeah, sacrificial MILF. Like the EF, like it's a fringe fucking political party, but the only reason, again, because of ineffective liberal governance, like the reason why they're like gaining some form of fucking prominence, even to begin with, is because of the ANC being an ineffective fucking party. Like that's why, right? Like, whoa, ineffective neoliberal governance leading to stupid, annoying far-right fringe parties to be able to rise out of the ashes of those liberal parties. Say it ain't so. And then, you know, like all that fucking stupid bluster and bullshit can be used by stupid far-right agitators to make like to gin up a complete nonsense story about it because of you know, just some complete fucking nonsense. It's stupid. It's just stupid.
Who will expropriate land without compensation, whether they like it or not. If they object, they can seek refugee in America.
Now this is very bad. These are burial sites right here. Burial sites. Over 1,000 of white farmers, and those cars are lined up to pay love on a Sunday morning. Each one of those white things you see is a cross, and there's approximately 1,000 of them. They're all white farmers, the family of white farmers, and those cars aren't driving to stop there to pay respects to their family member who was killed. And it's a terrible sight. I've never seen anything like it. Both sides of the road, you have crosses.
What? 1,000 dead white farmers in South Africa. What is this? Yeah, like, I'm pretty sure it's bullshit, but I want to take a look. On the South African road, incorrectly identified as a burial site by Trump. So, okay, it's bullshit. The P39-1 is an anonymous stretch of thinly tarred highway connecting the small towns of Newcastle and Normandien. Normandien? That's a fucking Dutch word if I've ever seen it. In South Africa, 4-hour drive from Johannesburg. This week, the single-carriage roadway, which runs mainly along the edges of farms nestled in the remote hills on the country's KwaZulu-Natal province, has found itself unexpectedly the subject of global attention. On Wednesday, many South Africans were among those watching live around the world as U.S. President Donald Trump ambushed his South African counterpart, Cyril Ramaphosa, with a video making the case that white people were being persecuted. He had previously said that a genocide was taking place. Yeah, there's no evidence of that, but, you know,
I can't believe that there's genocide of white people going on. So, you know, we gotta fuck over the Palestinians, because fuck the Palestinians. But, you know, those white farmers, oh no, woe be to the white farmers. Oh no.
It's stupid. It's stupid. It's just dumb, right? So the most striking scene in the video was an aerial shot of thousands of white crosses by the side of the road, a burial site, Trump repeatedly said, of more than 1,000 Afrikaners murdered in recent years. The president did not mention where the road was, although the film was quickly linked to Normandian? Whatever. But the people who live nearby know better than anyone that this claim is not true. The BBC visited the area on Thursday, the day after the Oval Office showdown, to find the P39-1's crosses have long since disappeared. Whoa, crazy. It was fucking bullshit. There is no burial site, and the road looks like any other. A new grain mill has been built along one stretch where the crosses once briefly stood. What we found was a community shocked to find itself under the spotlight, and a truth about the crosses that reveals much of the delicate balance of race relations in South Africa. Roland Collier? Collier is a man who understands both. A farmer from South Africa's Afrikaner community, it was a murder of his aunt and Uncle Glenn and Vita Rafferty, bludgeoned to death in their home 5 years ago, which led to the erection of the crosses. Their deaths at the farms by attackers who stole valuables from their home led to a public outcry by the farming community, and the temporary planting of the crosses by fellow Afrikaners keen to highlight their murders among those of other farmers who have been killed across Africa. Oh, so guess what? This fucking community of Afrikaners, in response to this fucking family suffering an attack from a bunch of fucking thieves, decided to erect all the crosses as a sort of like show of solidarity for all the farmers who've also for all the other farmers who have been killed. So Trump is lying. It's not like 1,000 fucking people got killed. If 1,000 fucking like farmers were fucking killed all of a sudden, that would have made national fucking goddamn headlines everywhere globally. But there's no evidence of it. They put up the 1,000 crosses in solidarity to pay, homage to the fact that, like, yeah, those people fucking died because they got bludgeoned to death because of a robbery. So that's cool. So the video that you guys see, that you guys have been seeing, he tells me, as we stand together by the roadside, happened along this section of the road. Pointing down the hill towards the village where many black families live in mud huts, he explains, there were crosses planted on both sides of the road, representing lives that have been taken on farms, farm murders, all the way down the bridge, all the way from the bridge down below, up to where we're standing at the moment. The crosses were symbolic to what was happening in the country. Crazy. Whoa. So it's not because 1,000 people were fucking killed. It's to be a representation of all the people that were getting fucking killed. One of Rafferty's neighbors, businessman Rob Hotzen, told the BBC how he organized the crosses to capture public attention. Such was the shock over the couple's deaths. It's not a burial site, he explained, saying Trump was prone to exaggeration, doing a little bit of tacit defense there, but sure, man. It's not exaggeration. Trump is saying this because he's a fucking racist. Because if you look into this for even like 3 fucking seconds, we can look at the fucking graph again. If there was a fucking murder rate of 1,000, thousands of murders have happened. Trump is correct in that. Yes. And anyone is correct in that. But in any one of these fucking years, have there been 1,000 fucking murders? No. Most of them haven't even crossed over to 100. Most of them are in the double digits, which is still bad, obviously. But have there been over a fucking, have there been in one, like, year in particular, 1,000 murders of fucking Afrikaner farmers? No. There's no evidence for this. So Trump is fucking lying. He's full of shit when he says this. Adding to he didn't mind the images of the crosses being used. It was a memorial. It was not a permanent memorial that was erected. It was a temporary memorial. Mr. Collier continues to farm in the area, but says the Rafferty's 2 sons left after their parents' murders. The younger, he explains, has moved to Australia, while the elder has sold up and left farming to relocate to the city. Many people remain scared for their future in South Africa, which has one of the highest murder rates in the world. In 2022, 2 local men, Dr. Fakai Nagawa and Sibongisi Mendondo, were convicted for the murders of the Raffertys, as well as robbery, and sentenced to life and 21 years imprisonment, respectively. For many in the local community, it was a rare act of justice, with thousands of murders remaining unsolved across a country which President Ramaphosa told President Trump has yet to get a grip of its soaring crime rate. The Rafferty's murder sparked a period of heightened racial tension in the area. South Africa's police minister was forced to visit to try to bring calm, with protests from Afrikaners mirrored by claims from some members of the local black community of mistreatment by white farmers. Amid it all, Mr. Collier tells me that despite the misleading use of the video of his family's memorial, he's pleased that Trump is highlighting attacks on white farmers. Yeah, of course he is, because all these fucking motherfuckers are stupid, dumb fucking racists, for the most part. It's obviously tragic what fucking happened to his family. That's not what I'm fucking saying. The problem is that Trump is not, he's not properly, like, giving the grace to the fucking attacks that is justified. He's trying to use this as a sort of, like, justification to sort of, heighten racial tensions further and further and further within the fucking country. That's what he's using this for. It's an excuse. But sure, like, bringing up the attacks, that's fine, whatever. But he's not... Trump's not bringing up the attacks for altruistic fucking reasonings. Of course not. No, he's doing this because he's a fucking dumbass racist. The whole procession was to raise international media coverage of the whole thing, he reflects, and for them to understand what we're actually going through and the lives we have to live here in the moment of South Africa. A person has to go into a house before dark. You're living behind electric fences. That's the life we're living at the moment, and you don't want to live a life like that. His fears would chime with many of many races in a country which just suffered more than 26,000 murders last year. The vast majority of the victims are black, according to security experts. Hey, whoa, hey Trump, why aren't you talking about all the black people that are dying? Who are the majority of the people that live within the country? They tend to be black people. Crazy. Who would have thought? President Trump has made an offer of asylum for all Afrikaners, the first group of 49 in Washington, arriving in Washington earlier this month. But Mr. Collier tells me he will stay in Normandian and has no intention of leaving South Africa. I guess we're just going to continue. Racist segregation. 63-year-old. Tells us he was surprised to learn that his community had made international news, even more so that it was being cited by the U.S. president as evidence of the targeting of white farmers. Nothing like that is happening here, he says in native Zulu language. We were shocked as a community when the murders happened and sad for that family. Well, crazy. It turns out a bunch of the black farmers there are just like, oh, what the fuck? That's also sad. Of course, it's like one individual that's saying this, but I have no doubt that probably the rest of the community felt this way. I've lived here ever since I was a little boy, and this is a peaceful area. Nothing like that has happened here since. Near since the Raffertys died. There have been reports of allegations from some black farm dwellers that local police had failed to attend to cases involving black people with the same urgency as they did the deaths of the couple. Crazy. So, whoa, they're going to care way more about all the white people that died in comparison to the black people that died. Do I need to keep talking about just how fucking ridiculously bullshit this is? It's a fucking nothing burger. It's stupid, it's dumb, and the only reason why fucking Trump is bringing this up is because he's fucking racist. That's it.
Those people were all killed.
Have they told you where that is, Mr. President? No, I'd like to know where that is, because this I've never seen.
I mean, it's in South Africa.
Yeah, where? Oh, it's on a highway. Where it was complete bullshit. Because again, if this did actually happen, Trump, I'm pretty sure that, South Africa would not take that lying down. They'd be like, 1,000 people were fucking killed? What the fuck? But no, it was a temporary memorial. He's full of shit.
Man, so many people were killed, even though I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm a complete dumbass.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You gotta get out of here. What does this have to do with the Qatari jet? They're giving the United States Air Force a jet, okay? And it's a great thing. We're talking about a lot of other things. It's NBC trying to get off the subject of what you just saw. You are a real, you're a terrible reporter. Number one, you don't have what it takes to be a reporter. You're not smart enough. But for you to go into a subject about a jet that was given to the United States Air Force, which is a very nice thing, they also gave $5.1 trillion worth of investment in addition to the jet. Go back. You gotta go back.
Is that even true? $5.1 trillion of investment. We've already talked about the jet. The only reason why Trump wants the fucking a new Air Force is because he finds the other one uncomfortable. Like, it's not very comfy. Like $5.1 trillion in investment. Trump. What does he mean by that? Fact-checking Trump's claim of securing $10 trillion in investments. The White House reports $5.1 trillion in promised investments, with $4.3 trillion newly pledged, but experts say $2.1 trillion may not fully happen. Oh. It's an exaggeration. Who would have thought? Since returning on January 21st, finished his first business day, had already secured $3 trillion of new investments, which was not true. April 2nd, he had said, looks like we get $6 trillion. Oh, jumping up. Double the money. We've already talked about the $9 trillion of investments. It's not true. He's over-embellishing from stuff that Biden got, from stuff that previous presidents have gotten. It's more like he maybe got like $1 trillion after doing the sort of rough math. Close to 10 trillion in investments. About essentially 2 months. Far beyond the figures which the White House has released publicly. We tallied the White House public list of investments. They amount to $2.1 trillion in corporate investments, or at most $5.1 trillion when including promised investments from other countries. Experts caution that the promised corporate investments are not guaranteed to materialize in full or during Trump's presidency, and some of them would have occurred regardless of who was president. Whoa, crazy. Trump isn't the first to overstate new investments on his watch. Outgoing U.S. president said that his Bipartisan Chips and Science Act had attracted $640 billion in private investments. Economists told PolitiFact that Biden's numbers were based on what companies had announced, which is not the same as dollars already spent. Which, guess what? Trump's doing the exact same fucking conflation. Whoa, it's all fucking conflationary bullshit. Crazy. White House lists do not match Trump's words. Since Trump's inauguration, the White House has publicized investment announcements from free countries and roughly 60 companies on its website, including a non-comprehensive running list. Many of the highest dollar corporate announcements were in March and April. Corporate announcements in the White House list approximately $2.1 trillion of U.S. investment. The White House separately has cited commitments from the UAE to invest $1.4 trillion over the next 10 years, from Japan to boost its investment in the U.S. to $1 trillion, and from Saudi Arabia to invest $600 billion in the U.S. during Trump's presidency. Combined with the corporate announcement, these bring the total to about $5.1 trillion, $4.9 trillion from Trump's figure. So the $5.1 trillion is not purely from the Middle East, it's from total investments. But again, that's also going to have some fucking caveats. But the $5.1 trillion total has caveats. For example, the White House said Japan announced a $1 trillion investment in the U.S., but the article it linked to said in 2023. Japan's U.S. investments was $783.3 billion, and Japan would boost that to $1 trillion. Oh, so it only went up about $220 billion. Wah, 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 wah. So in reality, he got about, what, $216 billion from the Japanese. Crazy. That would put, increase of that to the new $1 trillion investment, that would put the total value of newly pledged U.S. investment at about $4.3 trillion. Well, slash about $8.8 trillion from there. Cool. And we don't even know, if even the claims from all the other UAE countries are even, accurate, or the Gulf countries are even accurate or not, based off of whatever other investments they've done before in the U.S., right? Because he likes to fucking over-embellish and inflate from those all the fucking time. Tally of total investments. The White House said total investments. Spokesperson pointed to the Federal Bureau of Economic Analysis shows a 22% increase in business investment, calling it a historic increase. However, experts caution this increase was shaped by businesses stocking up or on inventory before Trump's tariffs take effect, and said the increase is unlikely to be sustained. So it's because of his dumbass fucking tariffs, all the businesses have to stock up on a bunch of inventory because of the fucking tariffs, and whoa, more than likely this is not going to be sustained. You're going to see the fucking, once the tariffs are fucking gone, you're going to see a sharp drop-off all of a sudden, and he's going to be like, hey, what happened? What happened to the sharp drop-off of investment, Trump? It's so fucking dumb. Many of them are aspirational. I don't think we care about that much. So there's the Stargate project, investment of $500 billion. Company's official announcement says $100 billion will be invested immediately and intends to invest a total of $500 billion over the next 4 years. If they're going to do that, who knows? Because again, for a lot of the time, Trump is saying if a company is intending to invest this much money, that means, oh, they're going to invest that much money. It's bullshit, inherently speaking. But, whatever. Over-embellishment of claims, not synonymous with any other president.
Back to your studio at NBC, because Brian Roberts and the people that run that place, they ought to be investigated. They are so terrible the way you run that network, and you're a disgrace. No more questions from you. Go ahead.
I'm mad.
Talk about that.
I'm coping and
Dennis
seething.
Peter, He's a terrible reporter. Quiet. Let's go.
Thank you so much, President Trump. I'm Elsa from the NCAA in South Africa.
Thank you very much.
What would you like President Ramaphosa to do about the situation
I
that we've
don't
just
know.
seen on the screen?
I don't know. Look, these are articles over the last few days. death of people. Death, 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 horrible death, death. I don't know.
That's a lot of random fucking anecdotes that Trump definitely has no idea what the fuck they're about. I guarantee you, this man has no fucking idea.
Look at this. People dead. They're dead. They died. They're dead. That means bad thing happened, right, guys?
It's a big anyone. White South Africans are fleeing because of the violence and racist laws. And this is all. I'll give these to you. So when you say what would I like to do, I don't know what to do. Look at this. White South African couple say that they were attacked violently.
And then Chapalo, you go and see for yourself if it is.
Well, I could do that. Look, here's burial sites all over the place. These are all white farmers that are being buried. And he asks about a jet that was given. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You know, you are.
Yeah, we just debunked that claim. Like, it's not a burial site. It was a memorial site. That's different.
So bad. You're such a bad reporter.
It was a memorial site, not a burial site.
This is one after another. This family was wiped out. I'm just looking.
I'm looking, folks. I'm telling you,
Well,
I know
I think the
everything.
videos are so. No. When you look at the videos, I mean, how does it get worse? And these are people that are officials, and they're saying that kill the white farmer and take their land. That's what. And I have other friends in South Africa. I have people that left. One in particular that says you can't go there. He said they want to take your land.
One in particular. I wonder which one that is, right?
And they take your land and they kill you. It's okay, and they say it's okay to do. Now, we're going to talk about it, but this is a tremendous. Look, this is a story recent. These are all people that recently got killed, and I don't know how it can get any worse.
I have a feeling that those are not people who got recently killed. We've already seen what the fucking murder rate because of the goddamn farm attacks. Yeah, murders are happening. People are getting fucking killed. That's not a doubt. But it's being completely blown out of fucking proportion. And is the fucking ANC government doing everything possible in order to fucking mitigate this as much as they can? No, obviously not. There's probably way more that they could be doing. But to say that there's like some crazy like white genocide happening because of this is fucking silly. That is ridiculous.
And you know, the men that you saw, the people that you saw, those are officials. Those are people that were in office. They had one march, they had a dance in your parliament, whatever you may call it, legislature.
Let me clarify that.
Yeah.
Let me clarify that, because what you saw, the speeches that were being made, one, that is not government policy. We have a multi-party democracy in South Africa that allows people to express themselves, political parties to adhere to various policies, and in many cases, or in some cases, those.
Oh yeah, obviously a lot of apparently this is a pretty good immediate point here being raised by Cyril Ramaphosa. Americans do not understand the concept of what a parliamentarian system is. A parliamentary system is. Whoa, they don't know what that is. They don't. All they've known for their fucking entire lives are just,
well, there's like the two parties. We have two parties, and that's all we know, folks. Don't we, folks? We only know about our two wonderful parties. The greatest one, of course, being the Republican Party, the best party. They're so good. They're so great. We love the Republicans. And those stinking commie-crats. We hate the Democrats. We hate those darned Democrats, don't we, folks?
So, yeah. People are allowed to express their opinions. They're allowed to say whatever they want. That's how free speech does work. Again, conservatives, they don't like free speech. It's a concept that's like completely foreign to them. But yeah, people can just say stuff. You're allowed to do that. Are they saying the truth? Is what they're saying honest? They're probably not. But people can just say stuff. They can say anything. If it becomes policy or not, guess what? The sort of like representatives in that parliament get to decide that. Crazy.
Those policies do not go along with government policy. Our government policy is completely against what he was saying, even in the parliament. And they're a small minority party, which is allowed to exist in terms of our constitution.
But you do allow them to take land.
No.
You do allow them to take land.
Nobody can
and then
take
when
land.
they take the land, they kill the white farmer. And when they kill the white farmer, nothing happens to them.
No.
Yeah, again, there's just no evidence of that whatsoever. Trump is like schizo. It's just nonsense.
Nothing happens. There is criminality in our country. People who do get killed, unfortunately, through criminal activity, are not only white people. Majority of them are black people. And we have now...
The farmers are not black. I don't say that's good or bad, but the farmers are not black. And the people that are being killed in large numbers, and you saw all those grave sites, and those are people that loved ones going, I guess on a Sunday morning they told me.
Yeah, this point has just been completely fucking debunked. It's bullshit. It's just bullshit.
To pay respect to
He has no
killed.
idea what he's
Their heads
talking
chopped off. They died violently. And, you know, I mean, we're here to talk about it, and I didn't know we'd get involved here, but I will say this, that if the news wasn't fake, like NBC, which is fake news, one of the worst, ABC, NBC, CBS, horrible, but if they weren't fake news like this jerk that we have here, if we had real reporters, they'd be covering it, but the fake news in this country doesn't talk about that. They don't want to talk about it.
Because it's bullshit. It's bullshit that's been ginned up by, like, fucking schizo freaks that are around you. That's why they don't report on it, because it's just bunk. It's nonsense. It's just crap.
About it, but now they have to talk about it, but they won't. This won't even be a subject. They'll have him talking about why did a country give a free, think of this, why did a country give an airplane to the United States Air Force? Okay, the United States, not to me, to the United States Air Force.
No, they wanted to give it to you with the intention as a fucking bribe. It's just nothing but lies. Crazy.
So they can help us out because we need an Air Force One until since Air Force One is being built. 2 of them being built. But Boeing's a little bit late, unfortunately. So why did they give us a plane to the United States Air Force? That's what that idiot talks about after viewing it.
No, they fucking gave it to you because they knew that they can probably get some sweetheart deals from you. It's bullshit. That's why they gave you the fucking plane, because you've complained about it in the past, saying about how uncomfortable fucking Air Force One is. That's why.
Where thousands of people are dead.
I'm sorry, I don't have a plane to give you.
I wish you did. I would take it. If your country offered the United States Air Force a plane, I would take it.
Okay, but coming back to this issue, which I really would like us to talk about, and talk about it.
Please
very
bribe
loudly.
me. I love
We were talking
getting
about
bribed.
Nelson Mandela, that whenever there are problems, people need to sit down around the table and talk about them.
Well, there are
and this is
problems.
precisely what we would also like to talk about, including, of course, trade matters, investment matters. So the issues that concern you as the United States.
Those are all deaths.
Yeah, in many ways, I mean, one should say you are a partner of South Africa, and you are raising concerns, and these are concerns that we are willing to talk to you about. Let me just add quickly, you know, the criminality that we're experiencing in our country needs quite a lot of technological capability. And in one of our areas in South Africa, we're using US technology, which is able to, in many ways, identify where shootings are happening and all that. And I'd like to talk about that because there is support that we can get from you as the United States to help us deal with all these acts of criminality. And that is what I believe partnership is all about. And we are here as a partner so that we can help each other whenever there are challenges. So I'd like us to discuss it, and of course outside of the media, so that we sit down and have a really good discussion that will lead to good outcomes.
No, it's probably about as well as you can fucking sort of handle like a situation, like a complete just random fucking ambush situation. Because again, same fucking bullshit. There's just no basis or evidence at all that there's a fucking white genocide happening in South Africa. It's bullshit. It's just fucking bullshit that has been raised by the fucking far right to say to gin up racist resentment and shit like that. That's the only point of any of this.
Measures that could be in place should you not be satisfied that South Africa is fixing some of the very bad things and the comments that you treated are happening.
Well, there are a lot of bad things happening in many countries, but this in particular has been very, very bad, And because of we're going to have the whole world watching in another short period of time because you have the G20, and that's a big deal. And it seems like, I mean, I want you to look good. I don't want you to look bad, but we have hundreds of people, thousands of people trying to come into our country.
So many people.
Killed, and their land is going to be confiscated. And you do have laws that were passed that gives you the right to confiscate land for no payment. You can take away land for no payment.
I want to clarify that because we have a constitution. Our constitution.
Yeah, again, we just talked about that fucking policy, by the way. No, it's quite literally they can reappropriate unused land to fucking black farmers. That's quite literally what that is. But I don't know, like stupid racist old grandpa. Do you think grandpa who watches the TV all the time fucking knows any of that shit? No.
Guarantees and protects the sanctity of tenure of land ownership. And that constitution protects all South Africans with regard to land ownership. However, we do say, because we've got to deal with the past, the government, and as your government also has the right to expropriate land for public use.
And you're doing it.
And we've never really gotten underway with that. And
You're taking people's land away from them. And those people in many cases are being executed. They're being executed. And they happen to be white, and most of them happen to be farmers. And that's a tough situation. I don't know how you explain that. How do you explain that?
There's just no evidence of any of this. It's just complete schizo conspiracy.
It's people that kill them and then take their land, and nothing happens to them. But we have thousands of people that want to come into our country. They're also going to Australia in a smaller number. But we have thousands of people that want to come into our country, and they're white farmers, and they feel that they're going to die in South Africa, and it's a bad thing. Yeah,
What can
Just
South Africa do?
schizo.
What concessions would you like to see them make to improve relations with the United States? Then I have one more for President Ramaphosa afterwards.
Well, we just spoke about it. I got them a very, very complex machine, 150 of them. I was asked by the president if it could help, and I did that. And, I have great feeling for all countries. I deal with all countries, but I have a great feeling for South Africa.
Yeah, there's, I don't know about, like, sort of how Cyril sort of, I think he dealt with that about as well as he could have fucking dealt with it. Like, we could do, like, the whole, like, he probably could have said this, this, and this. But the dude was just completely ambushed out of nowhere, by Trump, having a complete fucking schizophrenic fucking meltdown over a conspiracy theory. Just something that has, like, basically no fucking basis in evidence whatsoever. He just had a fucking complete, utter meltdown over it. It's the idea that there is a white genocide in South Africa. Like, the numbers are just simply not there for it. It's some unsupported. It's fucking ridiculous. It's stupid.
Africa, because I have friends. I have a couple of friends, a few friends here today. I have many friends from South Africa, but many of those friends are or they can't go back. I have Elon is from South Africa. I don't want to get Elon involved. That's all I have to do, get him into another thing. But Elon happens to be from South Africa. This is what Elon wanted. He actually came here on a different subject, sending rockets to Mars. Okay, he likes that better. He likes that subject better. But Elon is from South Africa. I don't want to talk to him about that. I don't think it's fair to him. But I will say,
I don't believe you. I think the only reason that this motherfucker even brought this up to begin with is because of crazy, because of Elon Musk probably voicing concerns about like the fucking white and we know about the fucking Grok thing where it was constantly mentioning fucking South Africa, where it made no sense to mention South Africa. It was just constantly mentioning it. Like, so about white genocide in South Africa, so white genocide in South Africa, so white genocide in South Africa, and it's just like, what the fuck are you talking about, Grok? What's going on, buddy? Like, what the hell? It's stupid.
Say that people are fleeing South Africa for their own safety. Their land is being confiscated, and in many cases they're being killed. And that scene of, you see how many crosses they have? Those crosses, that's a dead person in every one of them. And those trucks or cars are paying their...
Again, we talked about that. It was a memorial site to talk about the overall issue. Why? Because someone's family got, like, 2 people from someone's family got fucking killed. It was to bring awareness. It was not a fucking burial site. It was a memorial site. But okay.
Respects to all of those dead people on a Sunday morning. That's a rough thing to explain away. And the problem we have, and the way, you know, a correct and a fair media exposes things. But we have a very corrupt media. They won't even report this. If this were the other way around...
No, it's because of the media, not because I'm spreading an absolute conspiracy theory.
What's happening now is never reported. Nobody knows about it. All we know is we're being inundated with people, with white farmers from South Africa, and it's a big problem. Marco Rubio was telling me he's never seen anything like it. The numbers of people that want to leave South Africa because they feel they're going to be dead very soon. Yes,
Brian, let me ask you a question. 72% of farmers in your country are white. If they flee, do you feel that maybe the economy could collapse? You may not have a gap to fill those people that we replace those farmers.
You know, I like my Minister of Agriculture, who is white, who comes from an opposition party to mine, who's joined my government at my invitation to address this very issue, including the question that you've just raised. John?
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, thank you for welcoming us to the White House. I would say we have a real safety problem in South Africa. I don't think anyone wants to candy coat that. And it requires a lot of effort to get on top of it. It's going to require more policing resources. It's going to require different strategy to be able to deal with it. But certainly the majority of South Africa's commercial and smallholder farmers really do want to stay in South Africa and make it work. And I've just come from the largest agricultural show in the Southern Hemisphere with organised agriculture and farmers, and the majority of them want to stay. But they have a memorial to those who died as a result of farm attacks. And as the Minister of Agriculture, it is something that I'm particularly exercised with my colleagues at police and my colleagues in the justice cluster to start making farm attacks and stock theft a priority crime. And it affects all farmers in South Africa, particularly stock theft. It has a disproportionate effect on small.
Oh, so they're trying to do something about it anyways.
The individuals that are in that video that you've seen are both leaders of opposition minority parties in South Africa, the Mkhonto weSizwe under Mr. Zuma and the economic freedom fighters under Mr. Madema. Now the reason that my party, the Democratic Alliance, which has been an opposition party for over 30 years, chose to join hands with Mr. Ramaphosa's party was precisely to keep those people out of power. We cannot have those people sitting in the union buildings making decisions. And that is why after 30 years of us exchanging barbs across the floor in Parliament and trying to get one over on each other, we've decided to join hands precisely to keep that lot out of government, because the day they get in...
Sorry, you're explaining how a parliamentary system works to a fucking American who are criminally fucking undereducated. Because, yeah, that happens all the time in parliamentary systems where, opposition parties will join with one another to make sure that other particular fringe parties can't get into power so that they form a majority. But again, do you think that motherfucking dumbass Americans know any of that shit? No. This guy doesn't fucking know that stuff.
So the doors of the union buildings in South Africa or control of our parliament, that's what you're going to see. And that's why this government, working together, needs the support of our allies around the world so that we can strengthen our hand, grow our economy, and shut the door forever on that rabble getting through the doors of the union buildings, because then South Africa's future will be...
So you denounced that type of language in the video that you saw?
Oh yes, we've already done so. As government, as my own party, we are completely opposed to that. We, in 1955, adopted a document which said South Africa belongs to all who live in it.
But why wouldn't you arrest that man? That man said, kill the white farmers, and then he danced, and he's dancing, and it's kill the white farmers.
I can't believe he did a dance,
folks.
folks.
Started saying kill a certain group of people, that he would be arrested very quickly. That man is going all over South Africa, and that's not a small party. That was a stadium that holds 100,000 people, and I hardly saw an empty seat. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of representation. And those crosses, we have dead white people, dead white farmers, mostly. And you take a look at Australia, they're being inundated, and we're being inundated with people that want to get out. And the farm is valueless. It's valueless.
Why is he mentioning Australia? Like, why like, is this... What a bunch of indigenous people from Australia also killing like white farmers or something? Like why? Like what the fuck is this? This is very strange.
And they just want to get out with their life. And this is a very serious situation. And if we had a real news or real press, or media,
Real serious.
we don't have that because they won't talk about this because they're all guys like that idiot. But if we had a real press, it would be exposed. And you know the beauty of exposing it is it's like a cleansing action. When it gets
I mean, again, the press has fucking talked about this, and they don't agree with you. You're just lying. You're just wrong, dude. Like, literally. Nothing like that is happening here. Even like the other fucking guy said, like, yeah, like, It was a one-time fucking thing that happened here. You're just wrong. It's like Trump's just wrong. He's just lying.
Exposed, it'll get fixed. That's when it'll get fixed. But people don't talk about it. And I'll tell you who's talking about the thousands of people that are fleeing South Africa right now.
We discussed USAID and the devastating impact the cuts are having across the African continent.
You know, it's devastating, and hopefully a lot of people are going to start spending a lot of money. And I've talked to other nations. We want them to chip in and spend money too. And we've spent a lot, and it's a tremendous problem going on.
Dude, you're the fucking richest country on the fucking planet. You have the money to just spend on whatever the fuck you want. Dude will talk about, like, we don't have any fucking money to spend on all this stuff, but then, like, oh, but the military-industrial complex, we can spend all the money we want there, folks, no problem. What, Raytheon, Halliburton, what, all these, Northrop Grumman, yeah, sure, you guys can have all the money. Boeing, we love Boeing, don't we, folks? Silly.
Countries, a lot of problems going on. The United States always gets the request for money. Nobody else helps us, you know. Europe doesn't help. Europe hasn't given anything. All they do is sue our companies. You know, they sue Apple, and they sue all of our companies. Apple had to pay
You
$17
have
billion
the most
in
money in the
lawsuit.
world.
But we can always be there to help.
You guys have the most money.
If it is resolved, what's the potential for the future-looking relationships?
It's got to be resolved. It should be resolved. I mean, it's a little bit bad when you see a stadium with 100,000 people in it, because that means it's more than just a little movement. It's a pretty big movement in South Africa. So it has to be resolved. It'll be the end of the country. I hope so. That's why I'm here. I mean, I'm not here for my health. I'm here to... No, I'd like to see. I have friends. I can tell you, Ernie Els and Steve Lucid, they feel so strong they wanted to be here on behalf of South Africa, not on behalf of me. And, you know, they said, can we be here for this? Because they love the country. Ernie, do you guys want to say a couple of words? I hate to put you in... This is tougher than sinking a three-footer. They've sank many three-footers.
Thank you, Mr. President. And thanks for the honour of being here. We've known each other a long time. We have spoken. You know, we're proud South Africans. I still have my South African passport. We travel with this passport, you know, and I have my visa here. So, you know, but we want to see things get better in our country.
Good old white South African boy.
Since the transition. President Ramaphosa was right in the middle of the transition time, in 1990, and before that. So it's been 35 years of ANC government. And I know there's a lot of anger, you know, through the transition. There's also a lot of stuff happening in apartheid days. You know, we grew up in apartheid era. But I don't think two wrongs makes a right. You know, President Mandela, when he came out of prison for all that time, didn't come out with hatred. You know, and really unified our nation through sport. You know, we won the Rugby World Cup in '95. We won the African Nations Cup, soccer. You know, we won some majors as golfers and so forth.
We love soccer, don't we,
This has
folks?
been a long time coming.
Soccer, the best sport. So good.
And see our way forward, because we still want to see our country flourish. You know, we've got some great things going on. Business is getting involved with government. Farmers are getting involved in local municipalities, trying to rebuild some of the infrastructure that's been decaying for a long time. So there's a lot of coexistence going on in health from a lot of areas. But I feel we need the US to push this thing through. We've got a great ally. We can have the US. Always been an ally of South Africa for a very long time. Even in the days of the war, you know, up in Angola. You guys helped us.
It's not even really saying much of
very important
anything.
for us to have your support and you know, get the change we need.
Where did you do that well? He might have done that even better than he plays golf. It's almost impossible. Johan, please.
Sorry, Mr. President, if you had to wind all of those facts properly, you will see I'm the biggest target of the rebel rouser. Number one for over 10 years, Mr. Mandela. In fact, the first time I met him, he was in the youth league with that gentleman, and look how he's changed.
Right.
We have too many deaths, but it's across the board. It's not only white farmers, it's across the board. We need technological help. We need Starlink at every little police station. We need drones. I actually got drones donated for the peace parks to stop elephant and lion poaching. And he's
I find it really funny how, again, it's mostly like people saying like, yeah, this isn't just like a white farmer thing. It's an every farmer fucking thing. Because again, like the main problem here is ineffective neoliberal governance from the ANC. That's the biggest issue. So that's why fringe parties like the EFF are able to get fucking popular as a result. Whoa, crazy.
Importation, because he said the United States would spy on us. I mean, the US basics is ridiculous. So if you can help us. Remember, sir, you and I lived in New York in the 70s. We never thought New York would be what it became. 2 commissioners, a tough mayor. We need your help to stop this awful killing. But it's across the board. And he's right now building a Plato house in George. I'm building 3 cottages for my grandchildren on a farm outside Tariffs. I often go to bed without locking the door. And we have a serious problem with illegal aliens. We stream across the board. And if you really look at our statistics, a lot of these murders, firstly it's unemployment and illegal aliens. And then I met Vice President Watts many years ago, the Charlie Rose show. My wife loved the book. And she reminded me this morning that you emphasized the devastation that occurs when big companies leave towns and cities, and there's a culture of dependency that develops. I remember you discussing it. Now that's our problem. If we don't get our economy to grow, the culture of dependency and the lawlessness will increase. I've been against apartheid all my life, and I'm the #1 target. Please just Google my name and Malema. You'll see it, sir. He marched on.
Dude, I find it so funny that this fucking dumbass fucking billionaire is just like, oh yeah, dude, listen, it's all about the culture of dependency and everything. It's like, dude, it's because of fucking dumbasses like yourself that people are struggling out there. Like, get the fuck out of here. You know, it's complete fucking nonsense. But okay, yeah, sure. Gotta listen to the dumb fuck billionaire being like, yeah, guys, you know, it's totally not because of the fact that I have so much fucking wealth under myself that these problems are being caused. No, it's not because of me, folks. No.
The crime is bad.
The crime is terrible, sir, but Mr. Steenhuisen won't admit to it, but he runs the Western Cape where I live. And the biggest murder rate is in the Cape Flats. Gangs. We've got gang warfare. Like your M33 or whatever these guys. We've got equivalents there, but we need your help, sir. And we need Elon technology.
Well, one of the real areas of support is really in investments. We've got to grow our economy, because through growing the economy, we're then able to create more jobs. Because crime really thrives where there is inequality and unemployment. And that is one of the reasons that has brought us...
I'm sorry, you're saying this to United States President? There's no way this motherfucker knows about any of that shit, okay? You're doing basic socioeconomic analysis. This motherfucker doesn't know any of that shit, okay?
What? I don't know what any of that means. Those are words. They mean stuff. Whatever.
Here to improve our investment relations, our trade relations, so that we can preserve the number of jobs that your companies have created in South Africa. By virtue of what we export to you, we are able to create up to 500,000 jobs in the auto industry, in the agricultural industry, and a number of other industries, mining, where we export things to you. And we also know that as South African companies invest here, you are also able to create jobs. So it's a mutually beneficial relationship. So our main real reason for being here is
I love cars. That's something I understand. Cars.
Your support, and so that we're also able to address all these societal problems, because criminality thrives when people are unemployed, when they have no other hope to eke out a living. So that is what we need to resolve. And your support, your partnership with us, is what is really going to give us a strong capability to move forward.
Richie, do you have, excuse me, do you have anything to say? I mean, I don't believe you have. I know the guy won 3 or 4 majors. 3 or 4?
No, 2.
That's a lot. By the way, 2's a lot. A lot of tournaments you won, too. You have anything to say?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. President Ramaphosa. I grew up in an area in South Africa that is a farmland area, part 1. And there are some issues up there. Obviously, my dad was a property developer as well as a part-time farmer. And yeah, some of these buddy farmers got killed. The farm is still going. My brothers run it, but it's a constant battle with farms trying to burn the farms down to chase you away. So it is a concern to try and make a living as a farmer. And at the end of the day, without farmers, there's no food on the plate. So we need the farmers to produce food.
He wouldn't even want to do what you're doing. They love farming. They don't want to leave. But it's a struggle.
Yeah, and food and fresh water is the most important.
Listen, it's all about farmers. The farmers love the farm, just like the miners. They love to go to the mines, don't they, folks?
But yeah, it is a battle to get water out sometimes when all the equipment gets stolen all the time that you don't get
So
water
does your
out.
family and your brother, do they feel safe on the farm?
They live behind electric fences, try and be at night safe. But it is constant whenever you leave that something could happen. And both of them has been attacked in their houses. My mom's been attacked in the house when she was 8. So it is difficult. But the guys live a great life.
Yeah, the children do yearn for the mines, don't they? Again, like I said before, there's just no basis or anything for any of this shit. It's just like,
I've been told by like Elon or like Stephen Miller that there's like a tax bit happening, so that means it has to be true, right? I've been saying this before, and we took a look at the stats. There's just nothing to say that, like, yeah, a bunch of people are getting killed. There's murders and stuff going on. That's not the thing that I'm bringing into doubt. And most of the people who have been getting killed are black farmers, not white farmers. But because guess which population is in the majority in South Africa? Oh, it's black people. Like, do we need to do this? Like, I mean, we can do this. Demographics of South Africa. Sure, we can do that. No, just quick from the AI overview. Black Africans are the largest ethnic group, constituting roughly 81% of the total population. So it would make sense that, oh, the people that are mostly dying are black people. Oh, crazy. Who would have thought? Ridiculous. But no, it's not about... No, actually, it's the white South Africans that are having the biggest problem, folks. Nonsense.
Brought along the president of the largest trade union in our country, because she leads many, many workers, more than 1 million, 1.5, 2 million workers. And maybe we should give her a chance to say something. She's come all the way to join us.
Thank you very much, Mr. President Trump, for bringing us in, President, for extending the invitation to us as organized leader. And I must say that we are here to support
the initiative. That
Trade unions, wait, I don't like those guys.
Of course, that's organized leader. We've been coming
I hate those guys.
Trade relations in the previous regime. And I think at the center of it all, for me, it is exactly what Mr. Rupert said, the importance of us growing the economy. We have always emphasized when we were here and kept on coming and negotiating on forward, the 600 US companies that are based in South Africa, as you said, President Ramaphosa, 500,000 jobs will be wiped out. We need more foreign direct investment in our country. We are not just talking about those that will lose employment, but we're talking about over 40% of people that are unemployed, that have no hope of ever finding a job. And we think that...
This is a very, very good point that this trade union leaders... I didn't hear what her name was. I didn't catch it. I'm really bad with names. That's a really good point. Whoa, you want people to not do crime like murders on farms? You should get them employment. They should get dutiful employment so then they don't want to commit crimes, because that's how it works. Like, quite literally. Like, you know, you can just be like, oh, that seems rather silly and ridiculous, you know. What do you mean? Like, people get jobs and they don't want to murder each other? Like, what are you talking about? I know this is like a bit of a difficult, like, crazy concept for Americans to understand. But, yeah, generally people don't want to, like, go around and kill other people. You know, they don't just, like, randomly go around murdering people. That's not a thing that really happens. Most people are, generally speaking, good, hardworking, average people who just want to have, like, a little bit of stability in their lives. But guess what? With all this, like, constant bullshit of, like, I don't know, stupid conspiracy theories and tax cuts for the rich and a coalescence of power to more rich people, whoa, and they suffer economic instability as a result, whoa, they tend to not really like that all that much. You know, it's a bit of a radical concept, but it turns out if you invest into people, you're typically going to have a healthy society. Basic socioeconomics.
Correctly, as they've said, that we need to deal with the issue of porous borders in our country, so that everyone that comes in is documented. We also need to, and I would have loved that the minister would address the issue of land expropriation and how the policy works in South Africa. Recently, President, as you were preparing to come here on the news, I think it was in Natal, there was a handover of farms, and white farmers were saying, we are donating the land, but also there's a willing buyer, willing seller in South Africa. So there is no expropriation without compensation, but it is a willing buyer, willing seller. And that white farmer was even saying, President, that the government is even paying more in buying the land than what the land is worth for. And I think those are the realities, President, that we must say that we need to address, of course, but also the importance of agriculture linked to our goal. People rely on it, and I think, as the have said, for survival and living. But lastly, for me, President, is also the issue of the crime statistics. There is no doubt about that we are a violent nation, you know, for a number of reasons, and we're not condoning anything. But also, if you go into the rural areas where black majority are, you would see women, elderly, being raped, being killed, being murdered, and these are black elderly women that would be found throat slits, raped multiple times, and all of that. And the problem in South Africa, it is not necessarily about race, but it's about crime. And we think that we are here to say, how do we, both nations, work together to research, to really talk about investment, but also help us in how we can have the technology and everything that is needed, President, to really address the levels of crime that we have.
I got really nothing to say. Yeah, she's spitting. Everything she's saying, like, again, basic socioeconomic stuff. This is how you address these problems. But, you know, whatever. He's not going to understand any of this. He's going to go back to, like, whatever, like, schizo conspiracy theory that is in his ear at the latest time. Like, that's about it.
Thank you. Very good, very cool.
Well, I haven't made up my mind. I hate to see it from the standpoint of South Africa, but also, you know, I'm trying to save lives. I'm working with Russia and Ukraine. I don't have to do that. It's not our war. It was started by other people. Something along by our past administration. I would have never...
You have about as much of a hand in the war between Russia and Ukraine as anyone else, my dude. Like, whatever. It's like, I had nothing to do with this. Yet he'll also brag about being the guy who sent the Ukrainians javelins. So, like, I mean, technically speaking, yeah, you had also a hand to play in the fucking war. It's stupid.
Never happened if I were president, but I'm trying to save lives. And no matter where. Rwanda, I have nothing to do with Rwanda and the Congo, but I felt I had a very talented person in this administration, and I sent him there, and he did an unbelievable job, I think. I mean, we're going to find out, but he's...
Okay, I'm curious. What does this claim? Like, Trump claim Rwanda. Congo ceasefire. I'm curious. What is this fucking... Is this even true? Trump says the U.S. is close to brokering peace between Congo and Rwanda. Claimed on Wednesday his administration was close to brokering peace in the war between the DRC and Rwanda, two African nations with a long history of conflict. Mr. Trump said that Masada Bolus, the State Department's senior advisor for Africa and father-in-law to Tiffany Trump, of course, had helped to settle the war. Mr. Bolus was at the Oval Office meeting, said that Rwanda and Congo had both submitted draft peace agreements that had been evaluated and merged into one by the Trump administration, creating an agreement that's now being finalized. Okay, so there is a peace agreement that both countries came up with that got put together as one, and boom, there we go, just like that. Whoa. There now might be a peace agreement. Okay, so that's being finalized. The conflict between Congo and its much smaller eastern neighbor Rwanda has simmered for 3 decades. The latest invasion of Congo by Rwanda-backed M23 militia. So this is a militia group that is that's been backed by the Rwandans, right? In an interview in February, Felix Tshisekedi, the president of Congo, offered the United States and Europe access to his, of course, vast mineral wealth while asking for help forcing Rwanda to withdraw from Congo's east. Mr. Bolus traveled to Congo last month. That's how you're going to get fucking Trump. It's just like, oh, what, you want to give us minerals? We love minerals, don't we, folks? Traveled to Congo, after which Congo and Rwanda signed a document committing to work towards peace and to cooperate with U.S. investors, especially in mining and infrastructure projects. Fighting is still raging where M23 has seized swaths of territory. During the meeting, Mr. Ramaphosa spoke of various international efforts to achieve a ceasefire and said that South Africa, which has contributed troops to a regional force, was removing its soldiers so that peace could prevail. All efforts, including those from outside all efforts, including those from outside the continent and inside the continent, are really worthwhile, he told Mr. Trump. Oh, wait. That's Cyril who said that. I don't know why I did the Trump impression. So there is a peace. And that they're close to doing it. So he's not lying about that. Alright, that's cool.
They've done the hardest part of the job. It should happen. If I can save lives, I want to save the lives. If it's in Africa, that's great. If it's in Europe, if it's wherever it may be. And it's a very small investment to do compared to what the consequences are. So I hope we can do something. Look, I have so many friends. These two men, I have great admiration for them because I know what they do for a living. And that's a very hard living. Going from city to city, from country to country, and hitting a ball 350 yards like they do. And getting the ball in the hole. It's very tough with lots of people watching, right?
Gotta get the ball in the hole, folks. Very important.
And I respect very much. And I think the country is very lucky. They really wanted to be here. They could be elsewhere. They could be on a beautiful fairway someplace, and they wanted to be here. So.
My name is Zana Mobo from News from Africa in South Africa. How important is it for the United States to be at our G20 summit in November, given the relationship between our two countries? You just heard what has been said to you just now. Are you coming, and are you preparing to come?
So without the United States, the G20, just like the G7, used to be the G8, but brilliantly they threw Russia out. Would have been a lot better if Russia was in. You know, a lot of people would say, oh, that's not because if Russia was in, you probably wouldn't have this war.
Yeah, they threw them out because of the annexation of Crimea, you fucking dolt. That's why they threw them out to begin with. But, you know, maybe if they didn't annex Crimea, then that they wouldn't have been thrown out of the G8. Whoa, crazy.
You had a different president, you wouldn't have the worry there. But we have a G7. It's important that the United States is in both of them. I think without the United States, I would believe it's not very important. It's not the same meaning.
As I said to President Trump, the U.S. really originated the G20. And it's important that the United States continues to play a key role in the G20. And we are privileged to be the president of the G20. But we are even overjoyed that we're going to hand over to the United States, who are the originators. And for that reason, I expect the United States to continue playing the leadership role in the G20 together with other countries. And I've said when I initially spoke to President Trump on the phone, I want him to come to South Africa for a state visit. And I also want him to come and participate in the G20. And I want to gladly...
We love the G20, don't we, folks?
Take the leadership of the G20 forward in November.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. You don't want to leave?
Alright, cool. We're done with that. I don't know. There's not really much else to say here. The fact that literally Trump decided to bring up like a weird ambush video to Cyril Ramaphosa about fucking a dumbass shit from the fucking EFF is just like, sure, man. Very cool and very good. It's silly. It's ridiculous. I mean, I don't know. Like, commenting sort of on like how Cyril could have dealt with that is just like, whatever. Who the fuck cares? It's a complete idiotic conspiracy theory that fucking Trump is saying this. It's nonsense. It's silly. It's stupid. It's just like, brother, what are you fucking talking about? There is no fucking Afrikaner fucking genocide. We took a look at the fucking numbers. It's just not, it's not true. It's not fucking happening. Simply put, obviously the crime rate is bad and a bunch of fucking people are getting murdered, majority of whom are mostly black. So if we want to talk about fucking a genocide that's happening because of the murder rate, because of the crime rate that in fucking South Africa, it's because of there's a black genocide. If we actually want to fucking make that goddamn argument. But there's no point in fucking telling these dumbass fucking racists about any of this stuff because they don't care. They're fine with black people getting killed. So whatever. That's why like Trump is mostly talking about this shit. He doesn't care about like black people getting killed because he himself is also racist. This is the same motherfucker who literally bought out a fucking front page ad against the Central Park 5 in the goddamn New York Times. So, you know, racism from my president of the fucking United States, say it ain't fucking so. But again, Trump doesn't give a fuck about racism. It's never been about racism. It's all just like a complete like sort of like key jingling sort of moment from Trump in order to give more like red meat to the fucking base. That's pretty much the whole point of this. So, it's just complete utter nonsense. It's stupid and ridiculous. It's a complete conspiracy. But you know, whatever. All a fucking dumbass fucking meme. We love talking about white genocide. Afrikaners, they're the ones suffering. They're the ones suffering the most, obviously. But stupid. It's just dumb. And I blame Elon Musk. I blame Elon for this dumbass shit. Yep. That's all I really got to say about this. Fuck you, Elon.